Welcome to the Tuesday, November 6, 2012 Village of Peoria Heights Board of Trustees meeting. Meeting is now called to order. Would you please rise and join us in the pledge of the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn.
Present.
Trustee Carter.
Present.
Trustee Fuller.
Present.
Trustee Reichert.
Present.
Trustee Gett.
Present.
Trustee Cumming.
Present.
Okay, thank you very much. First order of business tonight is the approval of the Board of Trustees minutes for the October 16th meeting. Are there any changes that need to be made to the minutes as presented?
I move to approve the minutes.
I have a motion from Trustee Gett,
Second.
second from Trustee Cumming. All those in favor of approving the minutes for the Board of Trustees minutes for October 16th, 2012, as submitted by our village clerk, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Thank you. The ayes have it, and the board has approved the minutes for the October 16th, 2012 Board of Trustees meeting as submitted. Next order of business tonight would be correspondence, and that will be presented by our village clerk, Shauna Musselman.
I have no correspondence.
Okay, thank you very much. No announcements tonight that I can think of, so we will move right on to trustee reports, and first will be the ambulance service with Trustee Fuller.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. I have nothing to report this evening.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll go to Public Works with Trustee Harn.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. As usual, we have the wood chips. I was going to ask Mike Casey, is there firewood down there that people could have also?
Yeah, there's a little bit down there, yeah, if they want.
Yeah, anybody interested in firewood? It's winter, so they can go down there and cut it and haul it away. And if they want wood chips to go with it, we have plenty of those too.
Yep, got some of those left. It's dwindling down, but we got some left.
Really? People are actually using the wood chips? Hey, this is working. Marketing. All right.
Once the meetings went on YouTube, we knew those, life was not long for those wood chips.
Yeah, there we go. We're getting a larger target audience.
That's right, yeah. Havana, they're coming from Havana, get the wood chips. It's all you on YouTube. Give me those chips.
That's all I have.
All right, any questions at all for Trustee Harn? Okay, thank you again. We'll go now to administration personnel with Trustee Reichert.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing this evening.
Okay, thank you very much. Move to economic development and village improvements with Trustee Carter.
Thank you. I just want to remind everybody that Saturday is the Veterans Day Parade at 10 a.m. And then on the 24th, which is the Saturday after Thanksgiving, is considered our small business Saturday for Peoria Heights.
Okay. Any questions at all for Trustee Carter? All right, thank you again. We'll move to the police department with Trustee Cumming.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. I have my usual announcement this evening. The next Neighborhood Watch meeting will be Monday, November 26th, right up here at Village Hall at 6:30 p.m. If you have any police or code enforcement issues, please come up and share them with us, and we'll see what we can get done for you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions at all for Trustee Cumming? All right, thanks again. Move to building maintenance with Trustee Gett.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. I have nothing to report this time.
All right, thank you. And then we'll close out with the fire department with Trustee Gett.
Nothing to report there either.
Looks like everybody wants to get home and see if Millard Fillmore won. All right, thanks again. Any comments from the audience? Hold on a second, let me move the village lectern. Got to do it. We need to have you come up here and give us your name and address if you would, please.
Your microphone is weird. Laura Patel. I live in Peoria, 3216 North Avalon. You might know me from the District 150 School Board. That might be why I look familiar. I came to say nice things. A couple of weeks ago, I was hiking in Forest Park Nature Center with my two toddlers, and my 16-month-old collapsed and stopped breathing while we were out on the trails. And we ran for the nature center, and it was very frightening and upsetting. But your ambulance responded extremely quickly. They were there within 60 seconds of when I got back to the Nature Center. Diane Close and Brian Kennedy were the EMTs who responded, and my son was resuscitated successfully. We had an exciting trip to the St. Francis ER and an exciting day down at the ER. But everything, he's fine. I'm a little emotional still, obviously. He's fine, everything came out fine, but your EMTs were amazing. The response was so fast, they were down there so fast. They were so comforting, they were great with my son. When he came around, they had him calm down and responding really well to them. And I wanted to make sure that you heard how wonderful the service was and how much I appreciate the funding and the effort that goes into that from you guys, and how much I specifically appreciate Ms. Close and Mr. Kennedy and what they did for my family. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your son's fine?
He's A-okay.
Did they ever find out what caused it?
He holds his breath until he stops breathing when he gets mad, and this time he did it long enough to pass out, and then he just didn't, because he's only 16 months old, he just didn't come around
Oh,
right.
boy.
So,
Well, Mom, what did you do to get him mad?
I told him to walk down a different path.
Uh-oh.
That'll do it.
Little willful.
Well,
Sounds like
thanks a million for coming by, because I know that, we know these stories happen, but we really appreciate your coming by to let everyone know, and the efforts are obviously there for the ambulance service and our fire department and our police department, street department, so it's really nice when we hear that such a positive thing was done, so.
It was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you for coming by, Laura. Glad to hear everything is okay. Any other questions or comments from I was going to say the board, the audience? Okay, we thank you, everyone, again for attending tonight. No old business, so we'll go right to new business. And first up will be the Tower Cam Agreement Renewal, and that will be presented by Trustee Carter.
Thank you. It's renewal time, and this is actually for our next budget, I do believe. And they've held their rates. This will be the third year in a row that it's the same. Is that right? That's what this is for.
That's
It's their
correct.
addendum. It's to continue on if we're wanting to vote on it. So I make a motion to vote on this, to move forward with them.
Okay, have a motion from Trustee Carter,
Second.
second from Trustee Reichert. Are there any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for board approval of, another one-year contract, am I right?
It's a one-year contract. It'll be the balance of this year's budget, then first 6 months of next year's budget, but it is the same monthly $1,500 rate.
They've kept their rate
They've
for
kept the
the
same, and
week.
they list the events that they cover in the agreement, but as they've indicated, and we all know, they actually cover more, give us more coverage than what they agree to, so they do a fine job.
Yeah, and, I probably said this about 2,412 times, but for people to understand that it's not just the camera up there. If it was just the camera, it wouldn't be of really great value, because most people don't care what the weather is along Prospect. If they live elsewhere in the Tri-County area, they already know what the weather is like. But it's the exposure and the advertising that comes from that, and the comments made by the weather personnel on a daily basis. And Lord, with the way they've cut back on all the media around here, have had to cut back on staff to have these people show up at all of our events. I mean, it does wonders. So I think it's, like we've talked about many times, probably the best investment we can make advertising-wise. So any other questions or comments from the board before the board votes?
I think that the village is really a business, and even though we don't have a lot of money to spend, it's one of those situations where you almost need to spend money because you need to keep bringing it in. You have to invest to get back, and I look at it as an investment. Just like you're saying, with all the coverage that we're getting, and we're bringing people to the village, and it's just price of doing business.
Right, and it's paid off, it's clear.
I think so too. I agree.
Our tax money has, sales tax money has remained fairly consistent and actually has gone up when other communities have gone down. So I think a lot of it can be tied to advertising, so.
Yeah, and it's like any business. I mean, my small business spends about $7,000 a year in advertising, and I mean, I hate it. I hate spending money, but if I don't, there won't be any business to do.
Right.
So, and I know we spend other money. We put money in the chamber and things like that. But overall, I think it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, very small part of the budget, and it leads to a very important part of our budget revenue-wise, so I think it's a great thing, and I'm very, very happy with what we get from WEK and the like in terms of coverage and care and concern, so. Any other comments from the board? Okay, once again, this is for board approval of another year contract with the Skywatch Camera Network. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn.
Aye.
Trustee Carter.
Aye.
Trustee Fuller.
Aye.
Trustee Reichert. Aye. Trustee Gett.
Aye.
Trustee Cumming.
Aye.
Okay, thank you by a vote of 6-0. The board has approved the Skywatch camera again for another year, beginning the end of this month, or first part of this month, I guess.
December 15th is the
Oh,
start
okay.
date.
Okay, so we're early. That's good. All right, well, we'll go on now to the special use renewal for Metro Auto Sales, and that will be presented by Trustee Carter.
Thank you. It's time for Metro Auto Sales Special Use Permit to renew. Mr. Jeff Moreland is the president. It's on 3707 North Vincent. And from what everybody has in their folder, it looks like he's met all the criteria. So I make a motion to renew his special use permit.
I have a motion from Trustee Carter,
Second.
second from Trustee Reichert. Are there any questions or comments from the board before the board votes?
I have a quick comment. I know when the lot first was proposed, there was a little bit of opposition, not a lot. And I don't think there's ever been a problem reported from that car lot that I've heard about. The chief might know, but, so, yeah, it's fitting in pretty nicely.
Yeah, and it's on War Memorial.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
50,000 cars a day or whatever
Right.
it is going past it.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I'm with you. Chief, have you heard anything, concerns from the neighbors or
Well, actually,
problems?
since they've been in business, we've never had any type of violation. We've never had any complaints. I know there's a little bit of opposition at first, but we haven't heard any complaints.
And I think part of it is that people always have concerns about a used car lot, like, going to have flags flying and, dogs hanging out or something, but it's always been well-maintained from what I can tell. When I drive by, it's always been a lot of care.
Pretty
given
much
to
any
it.
business, change is always met with a little resistance.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how it is.
Where are we on this? We got a motion and a second.
Yeah,
We need to vote.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, once again, it's for board approval of the special use permit for another year for Metro Auto Sales as outlined by Trustee Carter. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn.
Aye.
Trustee Carter.
Aye.
Trustee Fuller.
Aye.
Trustee Reichert. Aye. Trustee Gett. Trustee Cumming.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. By a vote of 6-0, the board has approved the special use permit for Metro Auto Sales for the coming year. Next up, Next order of new business. Regarding a donation for the Peoria Heights Minutemen Wrestling Program, and that will be presented by Trustee Cumming.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. This is a donation in the amount of $1,000 to the Peoria Heights Minutemen Wrestling Program. What I'd like to do to learn a little bit, inform us a little bit more about what the wrestling club does is at this time bring up Barry Dunkerley, who's one of the coaches, former Heights grappler, class of '84.
Mayor Allen, trustees, thank you for having me tonight. I must start out with an apology to start with, the best laid plans. I was unable to make the meeting a couple weeks ago. It just happened to be the night we had sign-ups which was planned weeks in advance. And for me personally, my daughter was competing in her final high school volleyball game, so I apologize for missing that. I've talked to Bart, and basically our club is made up of kids 5 through 14 years old from Peoria Heights Grade School. We do have some kids that are from other schools, St. Thomas, that they will probably end up attending Peoria Heights High School. So that's how we decide who comes into our club and who comes out. I've personally been with the club for 5 years. I know it's much older than that, started by another teammate of mine years back in high school. Our recent history, we just had a young man 2 years ago finish 7th in the state. Last year he finished 6th. Now, to get a grasp of that, the organization that runs our program is called the IKWF, Illinois Kids Wrestling Federation. Last year, there was over 45,000 kids in the state of Illinois who wrestled. This isn't like high school. There are no classes. It comes down to the final 6 in the state at that particular weight class. So when we say he got 6th, he got 6th at his particular weight class. We take a lot of pride in that. We come to find out oftentimes the kids that stick with our program, not only do they go into the high school being some of the better athletes coming in, they also end up usually in the top 10 of their class academically. We do concentrate a lot on sportsmanship. This sport does require a lot of discipline, and when the kids have been in the program for a couple years, we see that that pans out. Our normal functioning throughout the years, since I've been involved, we have a couple of different ways that we try to earn money. One of them is a bags and breakfast down at T&T's that we had this past weekend. Another one is a tournament that we've been hosting for the past 4 or 5 years. We finally got enough money to meet one of the goals that's been promised to our kids for the past, since I've been involved. Next year, when we step out on the mat, our club will not be the biggest it's been since I've been involved, but we would be the best looking. We finally bought these kids matching uniforms. We look like the little red, white, and blue orphans running around most of the time. So for the first time, they will actually all look like they're on one team, which will be nice. That expenditure, though, has put us a little bit behind, and which has brought us to you guys also, is the upfront money we need to put the tournament on, which allows us to make the money off the tournament. If you have any questions, I'm more than willing to answer them.
How many kids did you have sign up for the sign-ups?
This year, we had 20 kids this year sign up, and I can tell you from previous years, we have had years where we get anywhere from 30 to 40 kids sign up. And we always look at January 1st as the real test. Oftentimes, our club is kind of nice balance this year. We got just as many returning as we do new kids. When you get that big number, it's a lot of new kids. First tournament of the year is the weekend after Thanksgiving down at Woodruff High School. We'll lose 10 after that first tournament. It's all fun and games and practice until a kid they don't know is trying to take them down, quite frankly. And in my experience over the past 5 years, we'll start, like I said, with anywhere from 25 to 40 kids. By January 1, we're down to 20. Usually we'll catch a couple that'll stick around that are first-year kids. This year's group, from what I've seen so far in practice, are picking it up very quickly. We see a lot of potential in a lot of the kids. And the hope is when we go down to Woodruff that first week, we won't have a lot of kids walking out of there that got a thump put on them. I think we're going to be pretty good this year. So while our number is smaller, we do have an entire new coaching regime as far as head coach, myself moving up to assistant head coach, if you will. We've brought in some more guys that are Heights graduates that are now coaching. And I like our coaching staff really well this year, and I think that'll also help us retain more kids, not only throughout the season, but throughout the years. So.
Well, I think you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for the good information.
Thanks, Barry. And I'd just like to go on and say that, to echo what Barry said, that this is a fantastic organization for kids that perhaps aren't into basketball, don't like to play basketball. This gives them another outlet during the winter sports season. And as he said, they're not only developing fine young athletes, they're developing fine young students as well. And it's an organization for kids in the village that's run by community members. So definitely with that in mind, I'd like to make a motion that we approve a donation in the amount of $1,000 for the Peoria Heights Minutemen Wrestling Program.
Second.
Motion from trustee Cumming and a second from trustee Gett. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for board approval for a donation to the Peoria Heights Minutemen Wrestling Program in the amount of $1,000. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn.
Aye.
Trustee Carter.
Aye.
Trustee Fuller.
Aye.
Trustee Reichert.
Aye.
Trustee Gett.
Aye.
Trustee Cumming.
Aye.
Okay, thank you by a vote of 6-0. The board has approved the $1,000 donation to the Peoria Heights Minutemen Wrestling Program. Barry, are you in sales?
No, sir.
Might want to consider going into that. Thanks again for
I'm
all...
not in sales, but I've been accused of doing it.
Well, thanks again for all your hard work, and we appreciate your coming by tonight to give us a little background on it, and you guys are doing a great job. Appreciate it. Final order of new business tonight is the IMLRMA insurance renewal. That will be presented by trustee Reichert.
Thank you, Mayor. The village's risk management insurance contract with IMLRMA expires on November 30th, 2012. Last year's member contribution premium for Peoria Heights was $105,250. This year, the contribution increased slightly to $106,547.61, which is payable in 2 equal installments, which are due on November 30th, 2012 and May 17th, 2013. The multiple risk management insurance proposals were received with IMLRMA providing the low bid. So I make a motion at this time to approve the contract with IMLRMA in the amount of $106,547.61.
Have a motion from trustee Reichert,
Second.
second from trustee Carter. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for board approval to pay the $106,547.61 for the insurance renewal as outlined by trustee Reichert. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn.
Aye.
Trustee Carter.
Aye.
Trustee Fuller.
Aye.
Trustee Reichert.
Aye.
Trustee Gett.
Aye.
Trustee Cumming.
Aye.
Thank you. By a vote of 6-0, the board has approved the payment in 2 installments to IMLRMA for our insurance renewal as read by trustee Reichert. Next order of business tonight is the payment of the bills, and those will be read by our village clerk, Shauna Musselman.
Okay, this represents the bills that were approved at the October 23rd, 2012 Departmental Committee meeting. The general fund expenditures are $337,637.99. MFT expenditures were $104,637.34, for a grand total of village expenditures of $442,275.33. And the waterworks expenses for the same time period are $71,870.25.
Are there any questions or comments regarding the bills as read? Okay, we need a motion to approve the payment of the bills, please.
Move to approve the payment of the bills.
Have a motion from trustee Gett,
Second.
second from trustee Harn. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn.
Aye.
Trustee Carter.
Aye.
Trustee Fuller.
Aye.
Trustee Reichert.
Aye.
Trustee Gett.
Aye.
Trustee Cumming.
Aye.
Okay, thank you by a vote of 6-0. The board has approved the payment of the bills as read by our village clerk. Veterans Day Parade, Saturday, 10 o'clock, right along Prospect. If you can make it, please do so. Our next departmental committee meeting will be held Tuesday, November 27th at 6:30 p.m., and the next Board of Trustees meeting will be held Tuesday, November 20th, right here at Village Hall at 6:30 p.m. Is there any other business to come before the board this evening?
I move to adjourn.
Have a motion from trustee Gett,
Second.
second from trustee Cumming. All those in favor of adjourning the meeting at this time, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Thank you, the ayes have it. Meeting is now adjourned, and we thank everyone for attending.